Hi, this is Dr. Kevin Maloney again for St. Rita's Free Medical Clinic. For you, those of you who don't know, every Friday night I see people at the location which is mentioned on the beginning and the end of this film uh, for free. As I see patients in my office every Friday night, I see people for free at St. Rita's Free Medical Clinic. We're not mentioning the location during the film so that we can reuse these films should we change our location, which we've done in the past. In the past, we've been at Holy Trinity, St. Thomas Church, United Methodist Church, Corpus Christi, Christ Church, numerous places, and I thank all of those locations. At times they have to use the locations for different things, so we do occasionally move around. If anybody wants to know where they can get free medical care, just look at the beginning or the end of the film, or call my office after 6 if you can, and ask Nancy or myself. The office number is 381-2091. Sorry, it's the end of the day. I'm a little harried. The reason why we do these films is to let people know where they can get free medical care. Children, vaccinations, physicals for school, and anything you'd go to your doctor's office for, high blood pressure. We check blood, anemia, cholesterol, sugar checks. If you're sick, come, we'll give you a free antibiotic. So basically, this is getting the message out to people who don't know that there's a free medical clinic, and it's in Lower Westchester. Also, another reason why we do these films is because every year we give a holiday party, and it's grown to great proportions. We have thousands of children show up, and we show the location. Nancy usually stands outside my office as to where you can bring toys, which we have to collect all year round to accommodate thousands of children, and we have never not accommodated every single child that comes at the holiday party. It's if you could all see it, and we'll try to show clips of it, literally thousands of children leave with toys. And I'll have kids come in sometimes, even teenagers, and they'll make a face like, oh, you're gonna give me that crap. And I'll pile them up with toys till like I see that big smile on their face. It's a wonderful endeavor, and I have to thank everybody that contributes to the party. It's not just me giving a Christmas party. It's all my patients for many, many years bringing in toys all year round into my office. And I thank all of my patients watching. You've been wonderful, and you've really made this happen. And all the schools in the area, the churches, the synagogues, all the organizations that collect toys and drives for us. I can't thank you enough. As you've heard probably in the past, we also give out Thanksgiving meals. I think I probably adopted this from Father Benedict Rochelle, a patient of mine who's going to be on one of these films, and all the wonderful work he does down in the South Bronx, giving out turkeys. Him and I laugh together, and we get a little competitive. There's no way I can beat Father at Thanksgiving time, but Father, if you're watching, try to outdo St. Rita's Christmas party. It has grown to proportions that are unbelievable. We have to have police in the streets. We have to cordon off blocks. It's thousands and thousands of children. And to continue this, we really need toys. And that's why we do the films too. They can be dropped off at my office. All year round we have to collect them, and that's the way we're able to give thousands of children toys. In addition, remember, free medical care. Anybody that's watching, Friday night, I'm there every single Friday. Registration is at 5:30, children and adults, so please utilize that service if you need to. And don't feel funny about it. You'd be surprised. People from all walks of life are at the free clinic. It's not just people who are what some of you would call poor. It's people who are just trying to make ends meet sometimes, going through a difficult time, raising their children, paying tuitions, paying mortgages, and at times it's hard to pay for doctor's visits, so feel welcome to come there. That's why we're there. We want patients to take care of. I have tonight, Nancy is going to interview a very good friend of mine, wife of a rabbi, who both her and Rabbi Cohn have stood at the Christmas party with me. I call it a Christmas party, sometimes change it to holiday party because it's really non-denominational. And as is the clinic. It's named St. Rita's after my mother, but we're a non-denominational clinic. Rabbi Cohn and I have spoken frequently about our values and ethics, him being a Jew, me being a Christian, and they're very, very similar, if not different at all. Rabbi Cohn first became my patient because he read about the work that I was doing, and after getting to know this brilliant man, I found out he was doing unbelievable work. He has an organization called Interns for Peace. There's a website, you can look it up. He does phenomenal work and has been for many years, as his wife will speak more about that, as Nancy interviews her, in creating peace in the Middle East, especially working between Israel and the Palestinians, and to end fighting and to create peace. And that's kind of like what St. Rita's is all about, and it always has been a good feeling, a rabbi standing next to me as I hand presents out, because it's really not about anything but helping others who are in need. And I think that we all share those values, but seldom take the time to stop and think that it's very easy to do something if we really stop and think about it for somebody else. And as everybody knows that volunteers at St. Rita's, we all get a lot back, more than we give. When we see the smiles on people's faces, both at the clinic every Friday night and at the holiday party, it's heartwarming, it's gratifying. Nothing materialistic could match the feeling you get of gratitude by helping another person. And I just wanted to thank the Cohns publicly for joining me in what many people think is a Catholic endeavor or a Christian endeavor. It's really a humanistic endeavor. And I want to thank all of my patients too. I have patients from many walks of life. You never know, you could be sitting next to a district attorney, a Supreme Court judge in my office, a gardener, a DA, a famous actor or singer, and nobody knows the difference. So all of my patients, I thank you for supporting me through the years, welcoming me into the community, and I think the majority of my patients, if not all, share my values and don't judge other people. And that's what really we're all about at St. Rita's. So Nancy will tell you more about volunteer opportunities, but again, anybody is welcome. It's non-denominational, okay? As you're going to see, we're going to have a rabbi's wife, Rabbi and his wife, Karen Cohn, very good friends of mine, and they're going to tell you why we need presents and how many kids come to this party, as Nancy will. So the reason why we film outside my office is to show you where you drop off the gifts. We collect them all year round, and it's not something to accommodate 3,000 children. We can do a drive in a month. So I thank everybody watching, especially my patients who have been so generous through the years and bringing in toys all year round, and the community members, and I ask you to continue to do so. Everybody's sick of hearing me, and I want to get off camera. After getting probably the worst haircut in the world, I walked into the dentist, into the barbershop yesterday, and he goes, "What would you like?" And I said, "More hair." Each time I get a haircut, it seems like I have less hair. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Nancy, who I think we're going to vote, and I'm going to show a clip of Nancy with longer hair and see which we all like. Nancy with a short haircut. I never let her live it down. I say to her, "Are you sure you didn't see a spinning red and white pole outside when you went in for that haircut?" Nancy is filming and she's going to kill me. Or was it a recruiting station, Nancy, you got your haircut at? With that, I thank you all for watching. I thank you for all of your support. For all the years I've been doing this clinic, over 20 years. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Nancy, and you're going to meet Rabbi Cohn's wife, Karen. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Nancy Finelli, your roving reporter from St. Rita's Free Medical Clinic. I have a special guest here tonight, and it's always wonderful to have someone else with me because these get to be tedious sometimes, but I really do enjoy doing them and letting the community at large know all about St. Rita's Free Medical Clinic. This is Karen Wald-Cohen. Karen Wald-Cohen has been a friend of Dr. Maloney for many, many years, and I've been fortunate enough to become a friend also. And I'm going to talk a little bit about Karen and her husband and the wonderful work they do. We're standing in front of Dr. Maloney's office. This is not where the clinic is held. The clinic tends to change locations from year to year. We've been very fortunate where we are now, but we've been very fortunate where we've been every year. But sometimes the facilities where we have the clinic need it for other purposes, and we move around. So this is Dr. Kevin Maloney's office. You'll find the location of the clinic in the credits in the beginning and the end of the film. And you can always call the office here at 381-2091. I'm here all the time, Monday through Friday. And if you have any questions about the clinic, if you need to be a patient, I'll be glad to fill you in on the details. If you'd like to offer yourself as a volunteer, we have some opportunities that we could use help with. But mainly what I'm asking for is donations. St. Rita's is a not-for-profit organization run totally on the goodness and support of the community at large. No one is charged a fee at the clinic. No patient is charged anything. No volunteer receives any pay whatsoever, including Dr. Maloney. This has been going on now for well over 20 years. Dr. Maloney began this clinic well over 20 years ago. He's been doing it as a way to give back to the community, and anyone who knows him on a personal level knows that that's what he's all about, that's his interpretation of the Hippocratic Oath, and that's to give back. And he does it daily through all his patients, through everyone he touches. In some way he's giving back, and he wanted to do it in a big way, and he does with the clinic. I'm just going to briefly touch on this. It is called St. Rita's Free Medical Clinic, as Dr. Maloney said in the beginning of the film. It is non-denominational, non-sectarian. Anyone who needs medical care is welcome to come. We want you to come. That's what we're here for. We do school physicals, job physicals. If you're sick, we take care of you, give you medications. If you have high blood pressure, diabetes, whatever your medical needs are, they're taken care of at St. Rita's Free Medical Clinic, just as they would be if you went to a doctor's office. No questions are ever asked. Whatever reason you're there for, you're welcome. The volunteers do a great job of putting people at ease, putting the patients at ease. We all know the apprehension of seeing a doctor for the first time. The volunteers do a great job of easing that. So basically, what you need to know is the clinic is there. It's on Friday nights. Registration's at 5:30. Anyone who registers is seen. No one is ever turned away. No one is ever charged a fee. Not only does Dr. Maloney run this clinic, he also reaches out to the community in many other ways, which I'm going to get to in a minute. I'd like to focus a little bit on Karen and her husband right now. Rabbi Bruce Cohen and Karen Wald-Cohen are the founders and instruments of Interns for Peace. It's a fantastic, wonderful organization. You can learn more about it on the web. They've been doing it also for many, many years. And basically, my understanding is that it's to promote peace in the Middle East between the Jews and the Palestinians. And they do it in a wonderful variety of ways that I'm going to let Karen talk about a little bit before we get back to the clinic. Karen, tell us about Interns for Peace.
Interns for Peace believes that peace cannot just be a document that politicians sign, that unless people on the ground are ready for peace, that there will be no peace. So what we really do is we train community peace workers to go into their own backyards and train other people how to work on community-based projects where both ethnic groups or all ethnic groups benefit. And through that benefit and through working together, they get to know each other. And as Bruce said, if they don't learn how to live together in the Middle East, they will learn how to die together. So this is what we've done. And one of the reasons that we selected Dr. Maloney as our doctor, we've been coming to him for 17 years, is that we heard about a Dr. Maloney Day in Mamaroneck, and we read about his good deeds. And we decided that this was the doctor for our family. Our family we not only work with ethnic groups in Interns for Peace, but our family, we live Interns for Peace. We have 4 adopted children. We are Jewish, as Dr. Maloney said, and Nancy, my husband's a rabbi, but we also have 2 Muslim children from Bosnia-Herzegovina. They were in the war, and they came to be adopted by us, and also a little Chinese girl who we just adore, and who really is how we met Dr. Maloney for the first time, because we brought her home from China. She was about 5.5 months old, and she was crawling around on our rug, and a little tiny piece of rug got around her little toe, and I couldn't do anything to get off that little thread, and so we brought him in. I called up Dr. Maloney, he said, come. We ran to the clinic, and he was able to take...
Short break.
Short break.
Look at the camera.
He was able to take that little piece of thread off her little toe, and that was it for us. We fell in love with him, and he fell in love with our family. I would also like to go back to the St. Regis Clinic, because I, years and years when I was young, went to apply to be an elf, a Jewish elf, at Macy's. And we had to take a test. And I think I was the only college graduate in the room, and I failed that test, which was to learn how to use the cash register. I am terrible at math. Everything that, every technical instrument scares the heck out of me. And so therefore, and they came over to me, the supervisor, and she said, Karen, you'd make such a wonderful elf. You're just short enough to be the elf that we need for Santa Claus. and we want a Jewish elf. But no, I could not pass that test. So years later, when I volunteered at the St. Regis Clinic, which was so wonderful, I actually got to wear an elf costume. And believe me, that was really terrific. And I didn't have to take a test for the cash register. So I was very, very happy. But I was also thrilled to see the work that Nancy and Dr. Maloney and St. Rita's does, to see over 2,000 children every year come, and they've got Christmas on their mind and excitement. And many of them would not have presents if it weren't for Dr. Maloney and Nancy. And I think the other important thing here is that my own children throughout the year dedicate presents and dedicate clothes for the Easter drive. And I think this is the perfect way. You can't just as parents say to your kids, you must give back to your community and you must help people. You have to show them as parents that they can do it. And making children or encouraging them to be contributors in this way, and to show them the examples of Dr. Maloney and Nancy and everyone who participates is so important, because saying it is not enough, but doing it is the most important thing.
Wow, Karen, I think you just did everything I was going to ask you. I'm going to just slow it down a little bit. Karen really made light of Interns for Peace, and I just want to, touch on that a little bit. Her husband, Bruce, who's a rabbi, and what she said, you're either going to live it or die it, and it's the truth. This war has been going on forever and ever and ever, and what Karen and Bruce do is just such a wonderful example, and the activities and the projects that they do to bring the Palestinians and the Jews together as peacemakers, it's incredible. I've seen films, I watched webcam views, and I've read many of the articles about it. And Karen, I just want to thank you. One person can make a difference, and you and Bruce make a tenfold difference. It's incredible. Be that as it may, Karen has a wonderful family with her 4 children. They really do have learned from their parents and from the mentorship of Dr. Maloney what it means to give and help out those less fortunate. We will talk a bit about how other people in the community can help us out. Maybe not go out and buy a bunch of toys by themselves, but a group of people together can do it. As I just said, one person can make a difference. A lot of people can make a big difference. A little bit back so you understand why we're standing here in front of Dr. Maloney's office. Why we're here is because we'd like you to drop off new toys year-round. Karen touched on the number of children who come to the holiday party, and it's grown to fantastic proportions. It's over 2,000 children every year. Dr. Maloney is never satisfied with just giving a child one little present. He really wants them to feel that it is their holiday and their time to receive. He touched in the beginning of the film, as many of the other volunteers have in prior films, that we do work hard and we do want to give to the community, but boy, come to that holiday party and you get back so much more than you can give. Seeing the children waiting in line sometimes for hours, as you can imagine with that many children. Dr. Maloney is the one who gives each child a present. It's not, 30 people handing out a bunch of toys. He wants to make sure that each child knows that he cares about them, and he does, believe me. And he makes sure they leave with arms loads of toys and that they really feel special and cared for, and being a part of that is just such an incredible feeling. Whether that one little toy you gave or you help participate in a toy drive, or you've dropped off of something small a couple of times a year. We do collect year-round. We're at Dr. Maloney's office. It's 144 East Boston Post Road in Mamaroneck. We're up the corner, just past the corner of Mamaroneck Avenue going north. Across the street from the Post Road Boatyard. And the big landmark is Brewer's Hardware. If you know where Brewer's Hardware is, we're directly across the street. This is Dr. Maloney's office, and this is where we ask that you bring a new unwrapped toy anytime the fancy strikes you. I say this often: if you're at a store shopping for something else, you see a great sale on toys, please think of a child at St. Rita's Free Medical Clinic, because there's so many of them. There's thousands of children, and they all need to feel special. No one goes away without a bunch of toys. No one goes away without feeling special, and we can't do this alone. We do drives. We do ask for the churches and synagogues to help us out. The school children have been wonderful. Boy Scout and Girl Scout troops, Cub Scouts and Brownies, organizations such as the ones at St. Augustine's Church, St. John and Paul. And we need your help with this. So we'd like you to consider it, to get a new toy sometime when you're out shopping. Drop it by the office. Dr. Maloney or I will be glad to take it from you. Thank you, and know that you have done something special to make a difference in a child's life. Karen mentioned that she started coming to Dr. Maloney's when she read about the Dr. Kevin Maloney Day. It's actually a Westchester County day. Andy Spano named December 18th as Dr. Kevin Maloney Day. Having known and worked and loved him for so many years, I can tell you that it's a very humble thing for him. He does not recognize it. Very few people know about it, but those of us who do, and if we say anything, he gets very embarrassed by it. He's very humble about it. The day was named for him in recognition of the tireless work he does for St. Rita's Free Clinic. And besides serving so many thousands of patients each year, there's so many thousands of children at the holiday time. And if you can't think of a better reason to get a toy for St. Rita's Free Clinic, mark your calendars for December 18th, because even though it's called Dr. Kevin Maloney's Days, I ask that you think of it as St. Rita's Holiday Party Day. When you're out and about shopping for your holiday dinners and gifts, please remember a child at St. Rita's. Pick up a new toy. We don't want it wrapped. You don't have to wrap it. Pick up a new toy, drop it off to us here at the office. Again, it's 144 East Boston Post Road. Excuse me, I should have had more water. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second. Please consider getting a new toy on that day and doing it in honor of St. Rita's Free Clinic Day. Dr. Maloney has just done a fantastic job with this holiday party, and we really need your support. As I said, it's not something that can be accomplished in a couple of weeks if we had thousands of volunteers. I mean, you know, you're talking a couple $1,000 kids with many toys. That's a lot of toys, and they're all new. It's meant to make children feel special. It's meant to make the people who give feel good about giving, and living in the true Judeo-Christian tradition of caring for our others. So I ask that you really consider this as December 18th as St. Rita's Free Medical Clinic Day. I'm not asking that that's the only day of the year you think of it. I've mentioned before in many of the films, as we all know, our children have parties for their birthdays, special occasions. It usually happens that they get two of the same thing. Rather than running them back to the store and exchanging it for something, you know, it's a good way to make your child think of how they can give and be a part of this giving community where we all are. Community service is wonderful. Children are learning it at younger and younger ages. Bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, confirmations, requiring community service and teaching children about how to give and how to care for others, maybe a little less fortunate than them. We ask that everyone in the community please remember that we really need help with this holiday party. So if you really can, you know, would like to make a donation to a charitable cause, this is the one. St. Rita's is a not-for-profit agency. Your donations are tax deductible. We ask that you bring the new unwrapped present to the office here. Dr. Maloney or I will be glad to greet you, thank you, and really appreciate what you do for us. And we do appreciate everyone in the community who's always helped us out, and we ask many more to please join us. Get back in just a little bit. I said before that St. Rita's is not for profit. There's no fee charge. No one is paid a salary, and nothing could be further from nothing could be more truthful. It's absolutely free. That's why the free is in the title, and no one is paid. Well, how do we do that? There's equipment to purchase. There's medications to buy. There's office supplies that are needed to keep the clinic running. It's same as any other doctor's office, and we do need all this stuff. We rely again on the donations from the clinic, from the community. Your donations, I'm losing it. Maybe you want to say this? Donations tax deductible.
Yeah, the donations are tax deductible. And I did want to say, because Nancy hasn't said it yet, that she's extraordinarily busy during the day. She will take your call if that's the only time you can get a hold of her, but it would be preferable to call 914-381-2091 after 6 o'clock. That's when she can give you some time, and she would love to talk to you. And if you want to volunteer, if you want to give, if you have any questions, she is always here, very warmly able to take your call and give you any advice, and we certainly appreciate your looking into this. It is such a worthwhile cause, and when you see the children smile, it's amazing. And I always tell my children that there's a very famous anthropologist who once said, never underestimate the power of an individual. It's the only thing that has ever changed the world. So I think that, just because you're one, or you only bring in one little gift or whatever it is, if many, many people bring in many gifts, we'll have over 2,000 gifts, and we'll have over 2,000 smiles.
Wonderfully put, Karen. I seem to have regained my voice. I think I'll just keep it down a little bit. I think you'll be able to hear me. Everything Karen says is so eloquently put that I just can't top it, and I'm not trying to. She just puts it so beautifully, and I thank you for that.